Hi everyone, welcome to today's lecture where we're going to examine what makes a species. We're going to do so by looking at the golden-winged warbler pictured at the left and the blue-winged warbler pictured at the right, and look at how these two closely related species might differ and what allows them to coexist. Our learning goals for today are to examine this system from an ecological, genetic, and evolutionary perspective. Within ecology, we're going to understand the concept of a niche and competitive exclusion. And then we're going to learn about how genes make individuals different. Finally, we will talk about what allows us to define species and how we define species. And then eventually in your in-class assignment, you're going to apply these species concepts to the puzzle of the blue-winged and gold-winged warbler. So birds are important because they give us an indication of what's going on in the environment. And scientists and conservationists and bird lovers have been really concerned about declines of certain bird species. Many species we thought might go extinct have actually rebounded pretty well. But in the last 50 years, only one bird species has gone extinct in the United States, and that is the Bachman's warbler, last sighted in 1988. Now, the Bachman's warbler was the closest relative of the blue-winged and golden-winged warbler, and so it serves as an important reminder that the blue-winged and golden-winged warbler, while they might be birds that we see regularly, could also be vulnerable to extinction. So let's take a look at the two species, and we'll start here with the golden-winged warbler, named for that yellow wing patch that it has. These birds are smaller than a sparrow. They exclusively eat insects, and they're long-distance migrants. They migrate to Central and South America from breeding grounds in Michigan or in southern Canada or in Appalachia. The population globally is about 410,000 birds, and this population is declining very rapidly, and it makes scientists quite concerned. So, some distinguishing characteristics about this is the black throat and mask that it has, the golden wing bars, the white belly, and then its song that sounds like zee zoo zoo zoo. We can compare that to the blue-winged warbler, also smaller than a sparrow. Mostly it winters in Central America, so a little farther north than the golden-winged warbler. And its population is increasing in some areas, and it is 680,000 compared to the 410,000 estimated for the golden-winged warbler. And where the range of these two species overlaps, the typical pattern that we're seeing is that the blue-winged warbler is becoming more common. Now let's take a look at some of the traits that it has. So it has a black eye line instead of the black mask and throat. It has white wing bars, has a yellow belly, and its song is best described as bee bzz. So first off, we want to talk about ecology and how these species relate to each other. So as we think about ecological relationships, we start off with the concept of a niche. And a niche is the set of conditions and range of resources that an organism uses. And so resource usage, such as the diet of an organism, and environmental conditions that they use, which would be the habitat that they live in. And both of these species occupy very similar niches. They both feed on small insects, and they both live in scrubby portions or scrubby habitats in the eastern portion of the United States and Canada. Their ranges overlap, and ecological principle of competitive exclusion says that two organisms cannot fill the same niche in the same space over time. So two different species cannot coexist in the same niche in the same space over time. Eventually, one will exclude the other. So if you look here, you'll see the areas that are yellow are where the golden-winged warbler is only found. The areas where it's blue is where you would only find the blue-winged warbler breeding. And the areas where it's green are areas where you would find both species breeding, and areas where you might predict competitive exclusion to occur. So one of the questions we're going to ask in the in-class assignment is, how are the blue-winged warbler and golden-winged warbler able to coexist in areas where their ranges overlap?